It's been 3 years since the definitive edition of these three games released, and I think we can definitively say now Rockstar have abandoned the definitive edition and are going to remain in a poor state. Now, people will tell you the games aren't that buggy anymore, they're fine, whatever. The truth is, the problem with the definitive edition wasn't even the bugs. The games weren't that much buggier than the original games. The big problem is the complete lack of standards when it came to bringing the game up to modern standards. AI upscale textures, algorithms to smooth out models, the carefully crafted rendering pipeline from the original games scrapped and replaced with bare bones Unreal Engine 4 rendering, completely killing the atmosphere of all three games. So, how could the GTA trilogy have been given a proper definitive edition? Well, let me show you. So to start, a proper definitive edition of these three games shouldn't even bother with Unreal Engine 4. The definitive edition isn't even completely on Unreal Engine 4. Most of the game is still Renderware underneath, but the rendering is what changed to Unreal Engine, and it completely destroyed a lot of the atmosphere and charm of the original games. The reality is, porting a game that has been developed without modern rendering techniques in mind to an engine with modern rendering techniques just doesn't work unless all of the assets get updated as well. And when you start updating the assets, especially the models, you have to update other parts of the game other than rendering. Otherwise, you lose consistency in art style. And that's why they try to skirt the line with it in the definitive edition. For example, they updated the protagonists' character models, but they specifically gave them a cartoony look. Because if they made them the same quality as, say, a Mafia 3 character model, they just won't fit in at all with the other game assets, especially the animations. And you can't just update the animations, because the animation system in San Andreas is pretty basic compared to newer games. So you'd have to update that as well and redo all of the animations. At points like this, you're basically just remaking the game. And the definitive edition shouldn't be a remake. Definitive means complete or final. This should have been the best and final version of the three original games, and to do that, a proper definitive edition should remain on the original engine, Renderware. There was no need to make such a major and drastic change such as using Unreal Engine for these games, and I'm going to prove that throughout this video. Okay, up next, the textures. The definitive edition uses AI to upscale a lot of the textures, which resulted in textures with tons of artifacts. They also seem to have outsourced a lot of the texture work to people with poor English, as there's tons of examples of textures recreated with poor spelling. And then some textures were recreated, but a lot of these completely lose the art style of the original texture. Now, what they should have done is exactly what the modding community has been doing for years now, which has been recreating the original textures in higher quality, finding higher quality versions of the textures from the source where Rockstar obtained the texture, and finding higher quality versions of the textures from other Rockstar games, since they often reuse textures between games, and sometimes these would be in higher quality than what's in GTA. The mod Rosa Project Evolved focuses on retexturing San Andreas with higher quality textures using these methods. The mod VRTP does the same for Vice City, and the mod Natural HD Textures does the same for GTA 3. If modders can do it without any resources from Rockstar, the definitive edition should have at least been to this quality as well, but realistically they should have been done even better than what modders have achieved. In a proper definitive edition, they should have sourced higher quality versions of the original textures, or textures should have been recreated by hand in higher quality. Although textures are more than just part of objects on the map, the UI and effects in the game are also texture based. Tons of mods have already improved and made these textures much higher quality over the years, and the proper definitive edition would also have these textures at higher quality as well. Next, the models. The design of the map models in these games are perfectly fine, and they fit the rest of the art style very well. I've already discussed why changing player models isn't really a great idea. As for small-ish changes, I would like if the wheels on vehicle models actually looked like wheels. Vegetation also need LOD models, as it's missing in the original games, for performance reasons. Other than that, model design doesn't really need much change in a proper definitive edition. But while the design of the models in these games are fine, a lot of them have issues, and that brings me on to my next point, the bugs. There are plenty of bugs within these 3 games that could be fixed, especially with models and textures in the game. Modders have fixed and improved tons of these issues, with mods like Proper Fixes fixing hundreds of these issues around the San Andreas map, and the Leftover Fixes for Vice City also fixes hundreds of issues around the Vice City map. As well as bugs with the map, there's tons of bugs with the game engines and scripts that could be fixed. Silent Patch fixes hundreds of engine and script bugs for all 3 games, and that's done without having the source code of the games. Widescreen Fix fixes the HUD being stretched at widescreen resolutions for all 3 games. So a proper definitive edition would have a massive bug sweep, fixing as many asset and engine issues as possible. Next, we have rendering parity. In all 3 games, there's a problem with rendering parity among the different platforms the games exist on. For example, San Andreas on PS2 looked very different than San Andreas on PC, due to the color filter not being accurate to the PS2 version. Another example, GTA 3 and Vice City on Xbox had a nice rain droplet effect, but these were missing in every other version. This is all we got for Vice City on PC. Modders have brought that San Andreas PS2 atmosphere to PC, and they've also brought those Xbox rain effects to the PC versions as well. This is done through the mod SkyGFX, and this is just 2 examples of rendering inconsistencies between versions. The definitive edition should provide options to use whatever color filter or rendering effects from all the different versions of these games across the entire trilogy. They could have even gone the extra mile and allowed us to toggle between the different rendering settings during gameplay, which SkyGFX allows us to do. This would allow people to change it up or experience each game the way they remembered when they first played them on their respective platform. So in a proper definitive edition, graphics seen across the games should be consistent across platforms. And lastly, quality of life. These games could do with some quality of life features and improvements. The games need some engine improvements so they can run at higher frame rates without issues. At least 60 FPS would be okay. An example of one of these issues is that cars in San Andreas stop a lot sooner when you stop accelerating at 60 FPS compared to 30 FPS. Modders have fixed the major issues when playing at 60 FPS with the mod Frame Rate Vigilante, but there's still issues that would be a lot easier to solve if modders didn't have to reverse engineer just to work on the game. So a proper definitive edition would have support for higher frame rates. GTA 3 and Vice City need better camera controls. The camera in San Andreas was already perfect for both on foot and in vehicles, but in GTA 3 and Vice City, the player camera with a controller is locked behind the player unless when using a manual aim weapon or using free look, which restricted movement. And with a mouse and keyboard or a controller, the camera was always locked behind the vehicle other than the fixed left, right and behind camera positions. Modders have already brought the San Andreas vehicle camera to GTA 3 and Vice City, and they've also improved the camera and controls when on foot, so they play more like San Andreas. The games need higher object and 2DFX draw distances, and in San Andreas, higher draw distances for procedural objects, as well as sliders to alter the draw distance of different object groups separately, at least on PC. Again, modders have already done this with mods like Project 2DFX. All 3 games are still very nice to look at, and a proper photo mode in all 3 games would be a great addition. Modders have already done this in all 3 games, although there's still room for improvement. And lastly, the original GTA games were on Steam for the longest time. yet they never received achievement support despite the games getting trophies when they were added to PS4. A proper definitive edition would have achievement support on all platforms. There is still even more that could be done, especially in terms of quality of life improvements, but those are just a few things. So, a conclusion. A version of these games called the Definitive Edition shouldn't be some weird attempt at a remake or trying to massively improve the visuals of the games. Instead, a Definitive Edition should be the original games with all of their original content, but improved so that they play better on modern displays, run better, have some extra quality of life features, and have better integration with the platforms the games exist on. A definitive edition should feel like a passion project, and it should be a love letter to the fans of those games. It should have made it so people can just buy and play these games on the platform they choose without feeling like they're missing something or that they need to mod it to get the correct experience that Rockstar intended in 2004. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I don't blame Grove Street Games for this mess. I blame Rockstar and Take-Two. The genius CEO of Take-Two, Strauss Zelnick, claims that what separates them from the competition is that they don't just port titles over. So instead of paying a proper developer to basically remake these games like the executives seem to have wanted, Rockstar and Take-Two delisted the original games for sale on most platforms, paid a small developer who does nothing but mobile ports to do more than a simple port, and then released a product which they should be ashamed to call the final version of these three classic icons. If you want to learn how to mod the original games like I have in this video, I have the best modding guide available for San Andreas on my channel. Anyway, that is all. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like. If you like GTA videos, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you later. The games weren't even that much buggier than the original games. The truth is, these three games released, and I think we can definitively say now Rockstar have abandoned the complete me.